Have a nice day and most welcome to today's tutorial session. For the first time, I like to introduce myself. I am Muhammad Farooqul Islam Farooq, lecturer in English, Bangabandhu Degree College, Monhurdi, ntion. Our today's session is about English first paper. And the next session would be in English second paper. So, dear learners, today we like to start lesson 1, unit 1. The name of our today's topic is the unforgettable history. Before going to our today's topic very systematically, I like to know about your state of mind. Dear learners, in the epidemic situation of coronavirus, I think you are fine. And I bless for you, I bless for your family members, I bless for the people of our country, and I bless for the people of the world. Okay, let's start our class. Our today's topic is the unforgettable history. For the first time, we must notice that the unforgettable history. So, the author used an definite article the. Why? Because it is the fixed topic. It is unparalleled topic of the world. That is why the author used definite article the. And the next word is unforgettable. Unforgettable, that means we can't forget. That is not forgettable. That is unforgettable. So the next word is history. History. So what's the history? Actually, by this term, the writer, the author wanted to mean the history of our independence. Okay? Today we will be able to notice learning outcome. What we will learn from this lesson. We will be acquainted with famous political figure in the world. We will have some new words. We will be able to write down the significance of our independence. We will be able to solve MCQ in the question. We will have question answer. We will be able to write down flow chart. We will be able to write down the summary. We will be able to write down a particular paragraph on the significance of the speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. 7th March speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay, just then it is very essential to go through the summary of the lesson. Actually, what will you have in this lesson? The lesson is about Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's historical speech. In this speech, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman emphasizes and portrays the then political and social and financial state of our country and the suppression, oppression done by the West Pakistani ruler. Actually, the lesson has been or can be divided into two parts. The text is very large, after the completion of this lesson, you will enter into the text in your residence. Just I will discuss the key points. So we can divide the lesson into two. In the first part, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of the nation, describes or portrays the then political situations, the suppressions and oppressions of the West Pakistani people. He describes the oppressions and suppressions of the West Pakistani ruler. And in the second part, and in the final part, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman inspired us to take part in the battle through his fiery voices. এবারের সংগ্রাম আমাদের মুক্তির সংগ্রাম, এবারের সংগ্রাম স্বাধীনতার সংগ্রাম. So this is the fiery voice of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Okay, this is the some substance of this lesson, the unforgettable history. After the completion of the reading, we will be able to notice some words. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, in the translated version, the author used crimson, a particular word crimson. Crimson means deep red. Crimson means deep red. And another word, awash. Awash means flooded. Flooded, deluged. Another word, negotiation, bargaining. Negotiation, bargaining. Spontaneously, naturally. Dear learners, spontaneously is very important word. Actually, in our everyday affairs, we are in the habit of using this word spontaneously. This is an adverb. So, if we avoid, if we cut the word, the suffix ly, spontaneous, that it means natural. So it is adjective. Spontaneity, it is noun. Spontaneously, adverb. So we can transform the particular word into another parts of speech. Anarchy, another word, anarchy. Misrule. Misrule, disorder. So these words should be learnt. Then we must go straight to some of the text. In the very text of the lesson, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman pronounced before the audience, "My brothers, I stand before you today with a heart overflowing with grief." ভাইরা আমার, আজ দুঃখ ভারাক্রান্ত মন নিয়ে আপনাদের সামনে হাজির হয়েছি. Actually, this is the Bengali meaning of this particular word. So we see I is a pronoun, stand is a verb, before is a preposition, you is a pronoun, with is another preposition, overflowing. Overflowing is present participle with another preposition, grief, noun. So in the very first line, we see some grammatical changes. We see some grammatical terms. Whenever you go through these topics, you must go through the grammatical terms at the same time, because English text is enriched with vocabulary. We must learn vocabulary. We know the 7th March historical speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. We know. But through this lesson, through this topic, we must develop our linguistic skill, dear learners. So, whenever you will go through this text, you must go through the grammatical terms, and you must be acquainted with the new words. You must make new words out of these words. So, I stand before you today with a heart overflowing with grief. You are fully aware of events. You are fully aware of a particular phrase, aware of. Very conscious. After entering into this text, we noticed that Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman wanted to portray the then oppression, the story of the then oppression of the Pakistani ruler. Actually, in the world, there are two personalities, very influential personalities. One is Martin Luther King the Jr., and the another one is the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. These two personalities are very famous in the world's history about, for their oration. So, after the completion of the reading text, we will face some problems in the question paper. We must know how to solve the MCQs. Suppose I am writing down an MCQ question. What's the meaning of the word crimson? 1. Black, reddish, then deep red. Suppose this is an MCQ in the question paper. So, if you know the meaning of the word crimson, already we have written down crimson here, deep red. So, the answer would be deep red. So, if you know the meaning of the words, then it is possible for you to answer the question of the MCQ. So, just for an example, let us go through the procedure of writing question answer, and it is correct 2 marks. Why did the author use crimson in the text? This is a question, so we must write down the answer. How? With mentioning grammar very much. For the first time, we will write down the subject, the author. The author. The author, as we see a symptom of past tense here, so we must write down the verb in the past tense. The author used crimson, So, this is the subject, the author used verb, crimson, object, and then extensions. The author used crimson to denote, or we can write down to indicate bloodshed, to indicate bloodshed. So, the author used crimson to indicate bloodshed. This is the correct answer. This is the answer. And you can write down another terms, another words to express the answer. So, this is the question answer. You must know, whenever you go through write down question answer, you must think the tense. You must try to identify the subject and the object, and if you do not do so, then you will not get a good mark. This is the system of question answer, and if you know the total topic, what is the import of the 7th March historical speech, then you will be able to write down a paragraph. Suppose you may face a paragraph in your exam, the 7th March historical speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, or the significance of 7th March historical speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. Then it is possible for you to write down the paragraph. And if you are called to write down a flowchart in the exam that carries 10 marks, then just you will maintain these steps. You will write down the points into each box. So there you will have 5 boxes in the flowchart. But we know the, suppose the question is, read the passage carefully and make short notes in each of the boxes showing the significance of the 7th March historical speech of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mojibur Rahman. Actually, this is a very much theme within the framework of this lesson. So we know, here we can write down the answers. What is the significance? Significance means, suppose we can write down a guideline to the people from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It's the point. You can write down a point within a word or within a phrase. So, a source of inspiration, a source of inspiration to take part in the battle. So this is another point. That is why the text is very important. The unforgettable history is very important. So a guideline to the people from Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the father of the nation. A source of inspiration to take part in the battle. A source of, then we can write down another box, a source of nationalism. This may be a point, and you can write down another points. So, after reading of the text, it is possible for you to write down a flowchart, and you will have 10 marks here. So, this is very much significant to go through the text line by line, and you must know the meaning of the words. And words have, two sides. Some words are very much literary, and some words carries inner meaning. You must learn the inner meaning of those words. After the completion of the text, you are to write down the summary of the passage. What is the summary of the passage? So, in the very first time of our session, I already have pronounced. So, this item carries 10 marks in the exam, writing summary. So, you can write down the summary of this lesson. The passage is about Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's historical speech. This is the first sentence. And you can write down 4 other or 5 other sentences. The passage deals with the oration of the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's historical speech. In this speech, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman at first makes the people of our country conscious about the then political, social and financial condition of the East Pakistan. And in the final part, in the final phase, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman suggested and ordered all the people to take part in the battle. Actually, this speech is a source of inspiration to all the people to take part in the battle. Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman's historical speech is a milestone in the history of our country and in the world's history. This speech has been placed in the world's register. That is why UNESCO included this oration of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman in the world's register. So, dear learners, in your residence, you should be very careful because coronavirus is in an epidemic form. So, you must be neat and clean. You must be conscious about this thing. I bless for all of you, and I like to suggest again and again, just go to the text and try to write down the answer of the questions, MCQs, question answers, flowcharts, fill in the blanks with clue and without clue, and you must try to practice how to write paragraphs and many more things. I bless for you. Thank you all.